Well, it's no secret that the skill gap in Modern Warfare 2 is about as wide as my thigh gap, and although this can lead to a hell of a lot of kills in any given match by the same logic, it will also lead to hundreds of frustrating deaths. Well, fear not, because in this video I aim to show you my best Modern Warfare 2 tips and tricks for how to stop dying in Modern Warfare 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm currently engaged in a pretty unattainable slap bet with my brother-in-law. What this means is if I do not reach 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, which I'm aware is an extremely tall task, I am going to get slapped in the face. Now, if you do subscribe, I promise to give you absolute banger Modern Warfare 2 tips and tricks, and also videos on DMZ and Warzone 2 when they release, as well as uploading the result of the slap bet on New Year's Day, regardless of the result. But with that out of the way, let's get on to these tips. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is hop straight into those settings, because there's a few settings that you need to turn off so that you can have the most advantage in the game and not hamstring yourself by having silly little post-processing effects damaging your flow. Now, if you go into the settings and then graphics and then head over to the post-processing effects, you need to turn the following off: your depth of field, your world motion blur, your weapon motion blur, and then turn the film grain down to 0. All of these settings make for a really immersive gameplay. However, if you're looking for Modern Warfare 2 tips and tricks and you want to be a sweaty Betty like me, then say to hell with the cinematic glory of the game and get down and dirty and into the nitty gritty by turning these off. These will make for a more immersive experience. However, each one of these settings affects the way that you view the game and can make it a lot harder to see enemies in a game where enemies like to fucking hide in little corners like rats. Moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is peeking. Peeking in this game can be extremely deadly. This is because of the fast time to kill and the fast headshot multiplier. That means if someone knows you're coming and they are holding the angle that you're approaching, your head is about to get popped like an overripe zit. Honestly, this game can be so unforgiving when taking corners, and for that reason, if you're engaged in a firefight, never re-peek the same angle twice. Even if it means you have to fully disengage from that engagement and just go and fight someone else, do that rather than re-peeking, especially with things like the marksman rifles and the SPR, where literally anyone can pick it up and be a quick scoping god. Re-peeking angles in this game is death for sure, so just don't do it. There's no shame in disengaging and running away and fighting someone else. Save that re-peeking shit for some other noob. If you stop doing this and you're conscious of when you're re-peeking angles, I promise you are going to die a hell of a lot less. Moving on, I want you to slow it down. Now, let me just be clear. When I say slow it down, I don't mean play like a sentinel, because let's be honest, that shit's boring as fuck. What I mean is stop tack sprinting everywhere. I know you're probably looking at my gameplay in the background and seeing that I'm probably tack sprinting everywhere, and as a result dying quite a lot, and that's the point I want to make. Do what I say, not what I do. I'm a victim of this too. I sprint way too much and it always gets me killed. Now, there's a number of reasons that this is the case. Number one, you sound like a fucking herd of elephants in this game. So when you're running around, people can track where you are so easily, especially if you have one of those ratty sentinel types that I was talking about earlier, camped in a corner. They're going to hear you coming, pre-aim the corner, and end you quicker than Shaq O'Neal would end a Big Mac. And the second reason why you should stop sprinting is because the sprint out time in this game is extremely slow. Now, for those of you who don't know, the sprint out time is the time it takes for you to actually fire your weapon after you tap shoot whilst you are sprinting. In some cases, this can be nearly a damn second before your gun will actually shoot, and if someone is not sprinting and they are pre-aiming already, if you run into them, they're going to shoot you before you've even fired that first bullet. So that's my second tip: just stop running. You don't have to just stay still the whole time, but make sure you're being careful when you are running. Only run if you're going from cover to cover, never run around corners, and always be mindful of where you are being heard from. Okay, moving on, and I want to talk about centering again. Now look, I'm not going to go into great depths about this because I did an extensive video on it yesterday, which I'm sure you haven't seen because it got fuck all views. So if you want to know about centering and you want to know how to improve your aim, make sure you go and peep that video right now. Well, not right now, stay to the end of this video first. And then finally, I want to talk to you guys about flanking. So many times when you're playing Call of Duty, if you're playing for a 2 or 3 hour session, the temptation is to just shift W or left thumbstick forward and just run head on into the objective and get killed over and over and over again. This is what I like to call Call of Duty fatigue. It happens to all of us, and what it means is when you've been playing this game for so long and you're just trying to get your camo challenges done, the temptation is to just sprint forward and go straight for the action. But this will be getting you killed so many times, and each one of these maps in this game will always have a flanking route. Now, one thing to remember about the flanking routes in this game is that they will change from instance to instance. This is because of the squad spawning in Modern Warfare 2. What this means is players will spawn near friendly players, and what this leads to is high concentration firefights around certain areas in the map. This also means that you'll be able to tell where the majority of enemies are, because you'll be able to see on your minimap where your friendlies are and where they're engaged on like the front line of the map, if you will. What this allows you to do is seek those flanking routes, and this might be somewhere that earlier in the game was a very highly contested area but now is dead quiet. This will be on any game mode, on any map, and you'll be able to take advantage of this information that you have from your minimap and sneak around the outside and get absolutely shit tons of kills from behind. But also, if you're on this flanking route, it's very unlikely that you're going to get shot from behind. This is because you've just come from where all the friendly players are and you're heading straight towards the enemy, so the likelihood of someone sneaking up behind you is pretty much 0%, but also the only engagements that you will find will either be head-to-head 1v1s or people caught with their pants down, and we all like finding people with their pants down, don't we? But anyway, that's it for my quick tips on how to stop dying in Modern Warfare 2. I really hope you found some of these useful. Now, for those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end, so if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. Would you rather have an expensive holiday paid for you every single year for the rest of your life, or a £1 million house? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.